Show starts now. Welcome to the Ryback Show live, presented by Feed Me More Nutrition. I am your host, the big guy Ryback. Thank you for joining me. Streaming live Instagram and TikTok, the big guy Ryback20, greatly appreciated. And Ryback TV here on YouTube, Twitch at Ryback Rules, and Twitter at Ryback. Super chats are brought up this show. Health, fitness, supplementation, pro wrestling, life, whatever it may be. We're here. It's a question and answer format show. Super chats are pulled up over on YouTube at Ryback TV and greatly appreciated. This podcast, this show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition, my premium supplement line, sweetened with stevia and monk fruit, no harmful artificial sweeteners or colors, vegan friendly for men and women on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% with discount code RYBACKSHOW20. That's RYBACKSHOW20. It's in the description and the comments after the show. RYBACKSHOW20 to save 20% on the best supplements on the planet. What do we got going on today, guys? Good to see everybody again. We might pull some pretty big numbers later here on TikTok. I noticed there were a lot of people, 700-something thousand people of my followers are on TikTok at the moment, which usually translates into pretty big numbers for the Ryback Show streaming live over there. Life is going well on my end. Thank you. I'm doing my 24-hour fast. I'm deep into it. 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm about 20 hours, maybe just a little under 20 hours into the fast. And I had my shoulder session worked on today. We broke up a lot more scar tissue in the front, and I've been breaking up. I've got a new way of breaking it up in the back that we found that has opened up. In my scapula is getting more and more free. I had a fantastic week of weight training and conditioning at the gym and at my gym. It's probably hard to tell, but I'm filling out pretty freaking jacked right now. I'm working on I told you guys, the Feed Me More Nutrition maximum strength and size workout program that's going to be made available on feedmemore.com. And I'm really able to start really training at the weight range that gives me maximum results, and it always has. And it's going to be detailed in the program. And it's really, I'm really big on the 4 to 6 reps is with good form, as good as form as possible. And it allows to truly generate the most size and strength in the least amount of time and to keep making continuous gains. And the drawback, I had to train a lot lighter for many years here with everything, and still kept majority of my size and went down a little bit. You're never going to, if I'm not able to train at the maximum intensity and weight that I was doing prior, it's going to be very hard to look exactly like that. But I stayed very Ryback form, and I could see already a couple weeks of really kicking this in and going hard. And I go, this is going to be nice. It's as if the body never missed a beat. So I'm looking forward to working on that program here and getting that into a PDF file. We're going to have all the images and links, how to do the exercises that we have listed, different workout programs and days in there. It's going to be there's going to be multiple programs, but this is the strength and size program that I really think is going to really help a lot of people. I'll have a conditioning and cardio program in there eventually. And it's just a great thing to have with being in the supplement and health and fitness industry. And as we implement more things on the feedmemore.com. I love you guys too. You get a free Feed Me More Nutrition shirt actually for the month of April here with your orders. So check that out when it pops up. And if you want, they're very nice t-shirts. They're very comfortable. I believe you will like them. Hello. Seeing what we got going on in the comment section. Kayla, thank you very much. Ryback, I love you. Very sweet of you. Jose Lopez, thank you, buddy. Ryback, don't stop doing what you do. Never stopped being a fan of yours, and I never will stop until I still hope you hit 400,000 subs on YouTube soon. Thank you, Jose, and I greatly appreciate the kind words. And we're about to hit 399,000, and that could happen in the next couple of days. It's going up so slow now. So I'm just trying to, it used to go up 20, 30, 40,000 subscribers a month. And now it's like 2,000 or 3,000, and I'm like, which is great. You're still going up, right? but it is slowed greatly, and I wish, and I don't fully understand all of that, but I have a feeling things are going to improve in a short period of time once all this legal stuff is over with. Mukbang at 400K. Yeah, I'm going to do a big vegan food challenge for the 400,000, I believe. I'm going to try to do like a 10,000 calorie vegan meal or something crazy from like Cafe No Fur, or I got to see. Probably going to be Cafe No Fur because they said they have a thing inside. So I think that will be a cool little fun video. Beautiful Saturday in Vegas. It's in the 80s. It is warmed up though. I'm hoping it doesn't. I'm hoping we have another month. It's going to just keep creeping up though. I know it. I've been here my whole life pretty much, so I act like it's inevitable. But the air conditioning's already on. The energy bills are going to be ridiculous. Starting, I'll notice a spike this next month in the energy bill, and then it's just gonna hit like a brick in the face. Just huge energy and solar bills through the roof in Vegas. Hello, hello. I appreciate everyone with the pro wrestling. All that will be determined once the legal stuff is over, and then we will move forward. And I got to get the shoulder just a little more, but I'm pretty close. I got a little more work to do though, and but the legal stuff is hopefully wrapping up. Hopefully this month, if I'm not mistaken. It could be drawn out longer, but I don't. I'm hoping it's not. Man, you are from TikTok. I am. I have the TikTok. We're about to hit 2.7 million followers. I am the most followed must see pro wrestler behind The Rock and the Great Khali. I always got to mention the Great Khali, but Great Khali does, in all fairness, has a massive following in India, which is you got to count it. You can't not count it. I have a big following, people in India, but the Great Khali is India. He is loved. So he's in within striking distance. So The Rock is got a good jump on everyone. Did my TikTok issues get resolved? Yes. So I got a contact. I had to file an appeal through their site. The contact actually pushed everything through. Then I got the account back. Nobody said anything to me at first. I just activated it again. This was the whatever Tuesday, and then the appeal team got back to me days later and said that there were no issues. Like essentially, I didn't do anything wrong, which I didn't, and that it just. But I messaged back. I go, how do you get permanently banned for not doing anything? I said that seems kind of odd. That like you wouldn't be just like a suspension or like a week thing, for whatever reason. But so nothing happened for it to even get permanently banned, which is just even more suspicious. But I do know that when you get permanently banned like that, it can knock your account out of the algorithm. And I was red hot, and I haven't been as hot since we got it back. Even though stuff is doing all right, it's not doing the level that it was prior, and just odd, right? But it is what it is. What am I going to do at the end of the day? I don't until this legal stuff. It's illegal. Like all this stuff is so corrupt, and like and people I get people and I see it on Twitter. They're like, "Let it go." Do you understand? You don't let it go. This is my life and my business. This is for the rest of life. Like you need your accounts, and I have a big following that is not seeing me. That is a very, very bad thing. And everyone should be upset at it. Not upset for me if you don't like me, but upset that these social media companies are doing this. And this is just one example because of their partnership, right, with the WWE. But it's going on the political end of things and people that are speaking out on other things. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look. And I saw Elon Musk got appointed, or that the guy, because the guy's at Paraga, Paraga on Twitter, is the new CEO. He's the new Jack of Twitter. And I've sent him endless messages on asking, please, can we have a conversation? I would like to understand why this is continuing to go on. With you weren't in this position before, but you could fix this. Why won't you fix this? On like, showing, look at, I'm getting 0.5% impressions or less the majority of the time. That means that I can never go viral. I can never take off. It's very, very difficult that, and it's just a bad look when that's happening. So I got to keep fighting it. If I don't, because like, it's been 6 years already of me fighting this. So I don't think a lot of people understand the scope of this. And like, but the good thing is you can see it on TikTok. You can't be the most popular on one thing and then all of a sudden on the others you're non-existent. That alone should be a red flag for everyone. Like, wait a second. And I'm not saying I should be the best on all the platforms, and that's but I'm not even being given a fighting chance. So that is, and you got to understand, having a business, I need to be seen. I need to be seen, and it is, and then with marketing, and it's very frustrating, and that's why I won't stop talking about it. And I know it might turn off some of my own followers, but I have to fight this, and I have to, and I won't stop fighting until I get it all back. What else do we have going on? Ryback, I encourage you to make up with Vince and return to WWE. Thank you. I will appreciate your advice. Big UFC card tonight. Yeah, I got to look. I was going to look and see what the card is. Who's fighting on the UFC card tonight? Is I got to take a look at that. I'm not opposed. Actually, what time does the card go on at 7 tonight? I'm not opposed to buying this tonight if there's a few good fights on there, two, or at least two good fights that I could be invested in. I'm 6'2", barefoot. Wins control your narrative. I have no plans on anything right now, guys, until all the legal stuff is over with everything. I know those guys, and I'm happy for all of them, and but I'm in a good position. Like, I don't need to go back to wrestling in that like capacity. I'm in like it's I know what I want to do, and when the time is right, we'll stay healthy. Yeah, absolutely, staying healthy is a big priority. But when you love something and you can do it at your own leisure, that is a beautiful thing. Jose says, I get no notifications of your post on TikTok and I follow you on there. Isn't that kind of weird, Ryback? Yeah, it's weird because if you're visiting my, and you're aware of that and you're visiting my page, I should be showing up on your for your page like pretty regularly. I've noticed the majority of my TikToks, I do believe there's something going on there too as well. And there definitely was for the last 4 months. And then it suddenly went back to normal, but I noticed very few of my own followers of the 2 point almost 7 million see my post. It's almost all dominated by showing up on the for your page thing and with new people. Even though there is a small percentage of my followers that do see it on there, it is very, very small. Where you would think that the more followers you get, the more of your followers would, and that is where I think there's such a discrepancy why you see posts that are so low on there, and then the posts that fall into the algorithm on the for your page go so high. It's odd. It really, but that's what, like, on the other platforms, I'm just not being seen because it's like, it's again 0.5% impressions on Instagram. It's not even 0.001. It's like, it is non-existent. I'm talking hundreds of views on post on with almost 1.6 million. I lost 200,000 since the shadow ban took effect in December, which the shadow ban they said was a mistake, and they said they fixed it and they didn't. How do you mistakenly shadow ban somebody and then not fix the account? All right, I don't. I would understand if I did something wrong and had to serve some punishment. Cool, all right, but to not do anything wrong and to have it is very, very, very frustrating. Miz gets Cody Rhodes' first match on Raw, and people are crapping on him on social media. Miz is the most underappreciated talent in the game today, no doubt. Ryback TV. So again, you just got to block that out. People that the majority, you got to understand that small portion of people are always angry and complaining and negative, and it's not worth anybody's time. That's like when I see people, they're like they think like that hate is so small. Like the amount of people I block a lot of people on Twitter. It's under so of all the billions of people on the planet, and you see all this hate. I have like legitimately. I don't know if it's like 6 or 7 thousand people blocked on there now. That's not that many people. That's a very small amount in the grand scheme of things. But those same people are the same people that go and talk crap on everything. And a lot of people don't realize it's the same like little vicious circle, a group of negativity. There's no reason there's nothing wrong with that match. We don't even know what the deal with it is. So you don't. The key is you just block them out. Let the people that they're and just talk about what you like and enjoy it. Like Miz versus Cody, cool. I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that are excited. Miz has a massive following. He's one of the most followed wrestlers on TikTok as well, behind R-Truth, right? He has a massive social media following. He's massively loved. So that's not Miz. Miz isn't underappreciated. Miz is super appreciated by the fans that love him and know him, which is way more than that small circle. And that's what I try to get clear to you guys is it's a very small amount, but that tends to sometimes get dominated on the timelines. The key is just blocking the accounts that talk about it, the dirt sheet people that are negative, and just block them out and just live. I'm telling you, life is much more enjoyable. And that's why we see like people like, and I love Disco Inferno Glenn, but he's always quoting and talking about and I'm not even saying their names. You guys already know the two clowns that are always just talking bad about everything and have their agenda, and they always made up lies about me. And but he quotes them, and like he's always, I'll side with him on the majority of things. He's very good wrestling mind because he's done it majority of his life, right? But those like it's not even worth giving those guys the attention. Just block them and don't even, and I get it. They sometimes can put out factual things on numbers. Outside of that, it's very little truth. Glenn is awesome. I thoroughly enjoy Glenn. I enjoy listening to their take on things. Not to say you're always going to agree 100%. None of us ever will. But he's like, it blows my mind that sometimes we will listen to the people that have no clue over things to the people that have a very good clue. And I never, and that are well spoken, that are funny. Like I like their show, the Keeping It 100 show. I think if I hear clips and pieces, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but I enjoy listening to different little various clips and topics that they'll do if it pops up on YouTube or on TikTok. And it's like, yeah, pretty accurate take. Pretty accurate take. Stay hungry, Ryback. Always staying hungry. Hey, man, what works best for loose skin? Fasting, intermittent fasting, and fasting, and implementing some fasting into your routine. As long as you're medically nothing that would interfere with that process, which I would check with your primary care physician if you have any suspicions or think that maybe it might not be beneficial for you. But I would start looking into that. Vitamin E and coconut oil. I would do a blend personally of vitamin E, coconut oil, and radish oil. And I would order those and make a concoction and I would start rubbing that on at least 3 times, 2 to 3 times a day if you could. Or if just even once a day, or before you go to bed and then you want to shower it off and whatever, I would start doing that wherever the loose skin is at. I appreciate you, Joshua. Thank you very much. We're going to hit a meat hook. Actually, before the meat hook, we're going to prime it up. Feed me more. Feed me more. Feed me. Big meat hook. Hit it a little high. Got you around the neck and the jaw, maybe concussed. Got you up for the shell shock. You have been kicked out of Rybackville for life, Josh. Thank you very much for playing, though, my friend. Hope you have a great day. It's insane that someone needs to bleed to be put over and get respect from fans. I remember you said this last week that blading is dumb. The Wheeler Yuta stuff made me think of what you said. Yeah, and again, if it's a situation like if you look back at the Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin match, and it's such an iconic part of that with the blood, right? I'm not saying that you can't have no blood in wrestling, and if it's something really, really big, or my thing is if it happens just in the thing in out there, even better. It's organic, and you know your nose gets busted on some whatever the case may be. But like I just know personally, everyone's going to have their own opinion. Some guys, if they want to bleed and blade, I think it's the most dangerous thing you could do. You're out in a dirty ring, and I've had the knee infection with that swelled up when I was IC champion, the staph infection, right? Which was a very serious ordeal. You got a blade that you don't know, like out there. It doesn't matter if you disinfect it. You don't know when you're out there sweating. You're on the dirty mat. That mat is just filled with disgusting bacteria on that. On top of that, and if you do it regularly, I don't want my face all scarred up. I don't know. I have a big scar down my leg already from the ink. Like, and I wear pants and stuff. I don't like to see it. It doesn't bother me. I'm not grossed out by it. I think looks cool, but it angers me because of how it happened, the story and the connection to WWE. So I prefer not to look at it as much because I like being happy with it, right? And with that, but you know, the dangers you start bleeding out there. I mean, you can really you could die legit if you are bleeding and you're out there for a long period, like very dangerous situation on top of everything else I just mentioned. Now that said, that's just my take with it. And you could get massively over without ever having to do it. And it's not going to make you any more over. It's not, but if talents, it's their choice. If they think that by blading or bleeding regularly, that's going to help their career, I'd say, all right, do whatever you want. I'm just going to do what I want. I'm not doing that. So I don't know what was reported on me not signing another wrestling contract. I don't even, brother. I don't. Nothing was is reported. Is if you guys heard me say that, like as far as that, I don't like. If you're wrestling for another company, there's always going to be some sort of contract involved, typically for TV programming with that. And then it's just that's the terms and all that have to be agreed upon. And there's a lot that goes into that with that. So that would be clearly, you know, I don't know. I've not even, never even seen it. I don't pay attention to that stuff, guys. If you don't hear stuff from me here, don't believe it. Like it's not, there's so many lies and lies being put out on things. Just stop. Have I ever been to Dre's? I believe I want to say I went there one time with Ziggler and during the porn AVN convention, and Kendra Lust was there with us in a group of women. It was a good time. We're always gonna Jose. We're always gonna have haters in life, regardless. It doesn't matter what we do. There's just people, like I said, that I just did another show with Backer today. And it's going to be coming out here soon, and I'll put it up on Ryback TV as well, and plug her channel. She's an awesome woman, incredibly gorgeous, and just smart and intelligent woman. And we were talking about that. The final comments on there is like, but people, I go, a lot of people, they don't mind their business. You know, uh, the more we mind our business, the more I mind my business, the more I can focus on my business. Right? When we focus on other people's business too much, it takes away from us being able to focus on our lives and our business. And unfortunately, it's just the world we live in, and that gossip and the people, the negativity, and it makes a lot of people, I think, feel good to see people that have a high profile or have celebrity and fame and riches, or a combination, or someone that is perceived doing well in life. Then they are almost rooting for the failure and negativity and hate, because that then makes them feel better about themselves. And it's a very weird, odd, twisted thing. And it's the reason why that most people are in the situation that they're in. And it's a mindset thing. So that's why I always try to preach that hungry mindset. And it's life. We're going to entertainment at different times and whatnot. But, you know, is it worth, you know, look at the Oscars with everything with Will Smith, you know, is it worth, you know, I guarantee you there's been people that are still talking about it. There's probably a million people on the phone right now talking about that, going back and forth on that situation, not achieving anything in life. Why? Pointless. It's not our business between those people that were involved. Now, granted, are we gonna you talk about it little? It's in the news, cool. But like, there's people that spend a massive amount of time arguing with others online over things, right? And I see it like usually if I see things in my comments where people start arguing, I just delete the original comment. And I've deleted hundreds where there could be hundreds of comments in that. And I go, I just don't want people, I'm helping them out. Move on, guys. Stop wasting your time. It's not what we need to be doing. And but either you get it or you don't. And I just try to help people. I get it. Hopefully, and the people that get it usually tend to do better. And so that's all I could hope for. Thank you very much, Patrick Miller. I do my best just to share with you guys on what I've learned and what I'm doing in my life and implementing. And not to say I don't make mistakes, and I'm not definitely not perfect or anything on that end, but I do believe it's the hungry mindset is beneficial for us all. Thank you on the AR Fox match. Yeah, that match, and that was nothing different than you got to understand. WWE live events put in a lot of time, and you go by putting in time and going out there and telling a story and getting the reactions. What you sometimes and I've done more than enough TV and main events stuff putting in time where I don't understand if there anything that and anyone that would ever say that I can't work, I laugh at. It's just truly just uneducated, and it's like the people that say that hurting people and all lies. And I know that, and I don't let it. I just keep on doing my thing, and I know who and what I am, and I'm very confident in that. I know how to work and get over. That is very rare. I can go out and do anything that anybody else can do outside of. I'm not going to be going out doing 450s or anything of that nature. Now, can I do that? I can go learn and do that. I can do front flips very well. I went and learned how to do back flips in a matter of minutes years ago when my back was horrible. I just don't think it's not worth it. It's not, it doesn't add to your character that you need to. If Brock Lesnar's in the ring doing cartwheels and spinning side kicks and kung fu move, does that make Brock Lesnar a better wrestler for his personality and persona? No. You have to understand who and what you are and how to go out and get over and what is believable and what's good for your character, right? If I have a guy down and give him a big, huge body slam, and then I do the what is it called, the handstand into the ropes and bounce off the ropes, and then do like a weird twerk, and then hit a backflip and move like and then cover with a vicious cover within a like, does that fit? No, it's ridiculous, right? So you have to understand who and what you are and work your style that makes the most money. And that is what a lot of people don't do. Just because you're not doing these other things doesn't mean you can't work. It's insane to me. Insanity. Lesnar's hit that shooting star press many times though before, but you got to understand when you're that big and doing moves and coming down and just like it is, like I used to do the splash off the top. I still can. I love doing the splash off the top, but I land on my knees in the weight so that my whole body weight's not crushing my opponent. So that moves really hard on me on that, and it's like that's something like even that use that sparingly. But you got a lot of guys don't understand, and it's when you got guys that are very muscular and you're training heavy, you don't want your body being all jacked up doing things that you don't need to do to get over. So not to say you don't do it every once in a while if it has a time and a place, but you don't need to do it all the time. Yeah, we've talked about the Cody all the time. With multiple shows now with everything. Very happy for him. GN says, "Who's the better Nemeth? Papa Nemeth, Ryan, or Nick?" It's not George, I can tell you that much. And George isn't a Nemeth, but I love all of them. Dolph and me have known each other the longest, but Ryan and me also, and Ryan, I get along. It's a tough call. Like it's nonstop laughter with all of them. I prefer hanging out with both of them at the same time, but me and Nick have hung out quite a bit more and wrestled and been on the road together a lot of nights at Hooters. So Zigman's always numero uno on that end, even though we're going to go a three-way tie for the politically correct answer. Matt, yeah, the message of we did send out so Matt, no, the emails did go out this week. Check your junk mail because I have a suspicion that, and I asked my web host, all the emails, I believe mine went to my junk mail and I never put it in my junk. I believe the email of the week went to the junk email this week because I know sales for that day were much lower for the promotion than they normally are. And I'm going to have to check. I'm going to let me know if it went to your spam because now I'm going to have to email my web host and see if something happened with the settings where it's sending my emails to their junk, which would be a very shady thing to happen if that's going on. So I need to let me know, please, because a red flag went off that day and I go, something's not right with that based off what I saw. Let's see. Thank you very much, Nuka, saying you missed me from wrestling. I appreciate that. I'm trying to take a look here. Super chats are brought up here on the screen for Ryback TV. I don't know what I'm going to eat yet. I'm going to plan that out shortly, though, when I break my fast. GN says Orton said Ziggler is the best wrestler of his generation. Caused a bit of a controversy. Do you agree with him? I don't know. I didn't see anything on that, and so I don't even know if it's true or not. I think Randy is always well spoken, and he would know he's there. Ziggler's amazing. I'm not big on like saying one guy is like the best on any like there's so many variables that go in. Dolph Ziggler has been a high level, consistent performer, physical actor for the WWE, and is up there all time, like on his longevity and what he's doing, and had massive success. And I think he should be even. I think he should play bigger roles. And I think there's a huge opportunity for him to have a long championship run playing the role as champion if you give him a good heater and let him have a lengthy run as champ. I like him more. I like him in the heel role, and I think that's something that will be the icing on the cake for his career if that does ever he gets to play that role, which I would like to see. But Randy's opinions always. I'm never going to sit there and say like, oh, I don't agree with that. Like Randy is around and up there. If he believes that, he believes that. I think Ziggler is amazing. A lot of you guys too don't understand the little things that go into being a pro wrestler, psychology wise, selling wise, working wise, timing wise. That so many guys don't have that, and there's a lot of guys on TV that it came from the independent and like that don't have that fine tuned, polished performer in them yet, and a lot of them never get it. And that is so you don't even know what you're missing most of the time. You just know when someone's very, very good. Great. Steven says, I believe you and Wardlow would be a match that would be better than anything WWE could put out. And I definitely think that would. I'm very happy he's really coming into his own. And like I said, I think they could have done that with him from the start and made it even bigger. But it's still there, and he's doing very well. He's smart in the sense that I told you guys, and I talked about on the show last year. And I don't know if he was doing it on the dark. He might have already been doing it. I never saw it, but I literally made a comment that I was like about multiple power bombs. Like that's the kind of stuff though you get over with if you could do it right. And like I think they got to be careful because like they could do some big things with him. And with it, and if they want, and I would definitely like I when I watch that show, his segments, or when I see like that, there I'm interested. I'm like, what are they doing with him? Because it's I could see he has shown me that he understands at least a part of the element of how to get over, which and it's only going to get better and better if he's getting good advice and around the right people on that. So I'm very happy with that. I think he potentially could be their biggest star over there if they but you got to pull the trigger at the right time, and you got to be careful with the booking. You got to be careful with it, and it's you need people in those meetings that are like, nope, he's not doing that this week. This is what he's doing, and everyone has to be on board with it, and it'll make everyone more money. And but that's the tough part in wrestling, is the backstage politics end of things, and all companies have the guys that didn't have the careers that they wanted to have, that tend to speak out negatively at the when things are going right, because they're not happy, and it's a really really just horrible thing in the industry. Matt says you were right. The message of positivity went to my spam. I reported it as not spam, and it went back to the inbox. Thank you, Matt, for letting me know that. I'm going to have to send a message to my editor, or my web host, and see, that makes sense now, why why our sales were down for that day. And I've got to now figure out how that even happens, because nothing's being touched in those settings for that to happen. Thank you, buddy. Fa Dieting says the crunch wraps you had on feeding time looked amazing. I used to eat Taco Bell crunch wraps regularly before I started my diet. They looked huge. Yeah, they were the Tacotarian crunch wraps. Amazing, amazing. Tacotarian has everything: ponchos, vegan food, Tacotarian. Those are the top two Mexican vegan places in Vegas, and well worth it. Christina says Scott Hall buried today. I was not aware of that. Thank you for letting me know that. It still doesn't seem real to me. I was just thinking of Kevin Nash today. I was working on my shoulder because Kevin has a bad shoulder too, and I just thinking, and I'd messaged him after, and with everything, not today, when everything happened initially, a couple days later, and I hope he's doing all right. That's which was as well as he could possibly be doing. It's one of those deals. It's like I see stuff and I watch videos of him, and man, it doesn't seem like that long ago, right? When you watch stuff, and you're just like, where did the time go? Where did it go? And it's like we're all going to get old, and we're all going to have our moment at some point in time. So it's nothing to be sad over at the grand. It's just look at my views on death, and I in the future, I look at it as a positive, but I love life, and we have to embrace and be grateful for each and every day, for sure, with it. And we never know. None of us know that. I don't know the Haskins, the guy for the Steelers, just got hit by a car. I think today or yesterday, like just crazy. I think it was today in the morning, and like, and he's gone. It's like it's crazy. It's just do our best to be as aware possible, and keep ourselves as healthy as possible. Try to make good decisions as much as possible, and even then, there's no guarantees. We've got a super chat, Dwayne Atkinson. Thank you very much. You may have been asked before, so if so, I apologize. But if you only had one match left and could pick your opponent, who would it be, dead or alive, and why? You want to know what match I think? And I said if I could have one more match, and I think this would be the match to make, is Ryback versus Goldberg retirement match. I think just with the joke of me doing it on social media, him, because it's very feasible at that point in time, whether it is or isn't. I think you know what I mean. I think Ryback versus Goldberg, retirement match at Allegiant Stadium, July 2nd is the match. And then I just retire and Goldberg can stay around for 10 more years. But that to me though, and it's not that saying that I think because there's a built-in story, there's a connection, and it's a believable storyline where you're actually putting in a real element of retirement into a physical acting setting. And that is something really, really cool and intriguing, right? That's just how my brain thinks. Now, would Goldberg, if we don't have that story in place, it's still a match, I think, at some point in time, right? That needs to happen. But I think the that's how I look at it. Like I'm not like looking who do I want to wrestle with the most? Like what do I want to who do I want to have who do I want to go in and have a go and exchange moves with the most? Like I don't look at it like let's know what has the most appeal to draw the masses and sell the most, right? And that's how I look at it. Take my money for those tickets. But I think but that would generate, and if you like, so, and I have no problem short term. I think overall, long term, the big guy's a baby face with what I do. I don't have any problem on a short term deal playing the bad guy, right? Because I think I think I play a really, really, really good bad guy, and I think, but that's the kind of match that would generate interest with the hardcore trolls, right? That bought into all that stuff with the Feed Me More Nutrition polls. And then Unicorn, we're going to go ahead and block you. No spamming in Rybackville. I'm sorry, you're not going to now get to hear my thoughts on what I think about Brock Lesnar. That didn't need 10 comments on that. That that would those it would that would instantly generate stuff from them, and then you have the story in place, and I've got the big social following. He has a big following where you could that match, then people know that's going to get coverage, that it's possibly his last match ever, right? Whether it is or it isn't, there's always ways around things. But that's the kind of that's how I look at that. That would be a match where it would generate more interest than just a regular match. You got to look at things like that in pro wrestling, and you can't always do them all the time. But if the opportunity presents itself and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, you got to run with it. Why you don't buy bots from the web to get your Twitter account active? Why would I buy bots for my Twitter account? How would that help me get seen by my followers? That would only make things worse. That would be why I wouldn't. And it's not real. I want real followers with real engagement. We've got another super chat. Dwayne Atkinson coming in hot with a double super chat today. Extra coffee for the big guy. You freaking jacked. I love it. Who would you love to have a pose down with if you got to pick? Okay, first of all, wouldn't love to have a pose down with anybody. I appreciate the comments, Dwayne, on the physique, but I'm not like looking. I'm not like looking like, man, I can't wait to strip down and flex my muscles with this so and so. Like I don't. That's like not like not once have I ever thought that in my life. Just to be straight up with you, Dwayne. Like, and I know you're asking a question if I got to pick. Like I wouldn't pick anybody. I would pick just to flex in my mirror after a nice hot shower and look at myself for a few seconds before I put my clothes on and go about my day. But I ain't like looking. I'm like, man, I'd really like to meet so and so in the posing room at Gold's so we could flex our muscles and see who's harder. Like, no, like I don't know. I don't know, Dwayne. It's I can't say great question for that. I appreciate the question, but it's a little odd. A little odd. Adrian says, "You shell shocking Goldberg into retirement as a T-shirt. That would be awesome." 285 is a lot of weight. 285. What was the comment? 285 is a lot of weight to lift, but you could do it easy, right? I've shell shocked guys much heavier. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I believe, and I've said it. I believe, and I mean this in like Goldberg is one of the all-time great characters in pro wrestling, and what he delivers and does, and with his intensity, with all of that. And I believe I can have the best match he's ever had with him. I firmly, I've said this for years, and I firmly believe that. And I think that it would truly be, and that's not me. Like, I'm not. Don't get me. I'm not coming here. I want to retire Goldberg. That's not. We're not doing that. Playing that whole deal. We're not in the deal. I'm just saying it would be a really cool with everything that's happened. And I've met him. He was very nice. He came over to me the last WrestleCon I did years, probably 4 years ago now, and when I was really hurt, and I think it was the year he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. He was at the came to the WrestleCon, but he came over and introduced himself and said hello, and he was going around saying hi to people. But I always thought that was very kind of him, and because we'd never met and anything of that, and there'd been interviews. I've never really. I think I talked about it. Because he didn't know me. I did an interview, and we're doing an interview. It was very early on into the media, and you got to understand, I had no clue about social media and how people would do interviews to kind of like and look for like little clickbait things to do to your expense and whatnot. And then once you figure that out, like and learn that, then you know how to word things better. But it was something about the Goldberg and the Goldberg comparisons, and it was me as like Ryback, the performer, talking and doing these media interviews and saying that that I was a better athlete and a better wrestler, whatever the verbiage was. But it wasn't being done to like take a shot at him. It was in character and being confident. But I remember when it came out, I saw it. I go, oh, that looks bad. Like they make it look like you bury the guy, right? With that. So I always understand when he did interviews because that was the first strike. Even though it wasn't me doing the first strike, I would not have like, I'm confident, but I wish I would have worded it. I wish I wouldn't have answered it in character at all. And that like, because it got taken out of the context, I feel like of the interviews. And that time I did a lot of the interviews very in character, very serious and confident, and whatnot. But ever since I know he did a couple things where he said, hold on one second, where he said, put you in timeout. Uh, where he wasn't like horrible with it, but a little just kind of not the best of comments, and like, and I just go, I understand why if it's like if somebody did an interview and I'm done, right, I'm away right now, and somebody does an interview and bashes me, I'm probably not gonna, and it comes across as bashing me. I wouldn't like, man, that guy's kind of an asshole, right? So, but that's not the case on it and whatnot. So I have nothing but respect for him in that. But I could have, and I talked about it before. That's one thing I look at. I go, I wish I would have answered that, because it was a football media thing, and they had a football, and they asked something, and you're doing things, and you like. I just wish I would have. I wish I would have put him over before I said what I said. Like, look, he's one of the greatest of all times. No one, unmatched intensity. The longest undefeated streak in pro wrestling. And that being said, I'm a better athlete and I'd beat him. Something where at least it's more promo, even though that still would have been taken for what it was. But it was just something. And then I learned pretty quickly on those. You got to be careful how you answer things because they will. That's why I don't like a lot of the media and the wrestling media. And they're always trying to like, and I've done shows and I go and I look at the titles they put at it and I just go, come on. Like, but that's what they do. The key is you got to be really, really on top of your game when you do interviews and in control of your emotions, because oftentimes they'll structure their questions. And this is for all talents, people getting into wrestling. You got to be aware of this. Nobody's your friend on that. They are looking to make money at your expense. And what usually does it is negativity. So you really want to be careful when you do professional interviews and professional settings that is going to be going out being fed to the masses. You want to be pretty careful with what you say. Thank you, not to saying I would be enjoyed on the roster right now. Would I wrestle Punk again for a boatload of money? Absolutely. Me, I'm again. I have I can be as professional as possible. And then when you're in the ring, it is all business. It's professional. Nothing, you can never, ever cross that line out there. And I never have, and I never will, unless it was a situation where another performer crossed that line and now you're having to defend yourself. And like, that's a whole different situation on that. So here's how I'll answer the super chat. Here's how my mind works on like on the Punk stuff. You want to know how you make that Punk thing sell? I come in, and this isn't saying, this is just pitching a creative. I'm in the producers meeting inside this room, giving you insight and how I go, what would be the payoff with Punk and Ryback? What you do is you come in and you bring in Ryback. We do it a brand new undefeated streak. We win the championship, right? Nobody in AEW could take the title off of Ryback. Then who does everyone want to see take the title off of Ryback, right? But Punk wants nothing to, everyone knows Punk doesn't want to wrestle because I, quote unquote, heard him, right? But the big baby face hero faces his demons and then eventually decides he's the one that's he's gonna take that chance once again. And then you have Punk versus Ryback with a storyline, right? And that's how you do it though. That's something that you could do to create massive interest with real life stuff. And that's just a storyline deal. But you see what I'm talking about, rather than what can we just do a cold matchup on tonight with? That doesn't interest me with anything. Storylines and emotions, tapping into real emotions. That's what allows me to get excited again. We've got another super chat here. Mikey Man, thank you very much, buddy. Hey, dude, a question. I'm from Australia and I'm going to watch WWE live. Why don't they tape it? It's only pay-per-view shows only. Why is that? Why don't they? So I believe the question you're asking is on the WWE live events, which I've done those for many years. They did start recording those at times when I was there, I believe, certain ones. And I don't know what, it could just been for footage for certain things. I don't know why it's a lot of work to bring camera crews into film. You got to understand the production they have for their TVs. So my only thing is the reason why they wouldn't do it is the cost outweigh the benefits, most likely. And also from which is probably the only reason why they don't do it, but also from a talent standpoint, live events are where you get to go out there and really hone your craft and work on things and enjoy yourself. They're so much more fun than TV and pay-per-views because you get to just go wrestle without the stress of time. You got your times and camera angles. There's a lot that so many fans aren't fully aware of what goes into putting on a TV or pay-per-view. And WWE, regardless of what we think about certain things, is by far the best best ran wrestling organization from a production standpoint, bar none. They are top tier on knowing, like, there's rehearsals. You got to, if you're doing something you want seen by the cameras, you go, hey Stu, I know you got the side cam tonight. I'm going to do this. I go, be ready for me. I'm going to do this after this to really let this moment sink in. And that's the kind of stuff that goes in that you got to think about to putting on. It's not just going out there. What moves am I going to do tonight? That's part of the thing, but there's so many other things you got to do and you got to be aware of that makes it a lot more stressful, a lot more time consuming. Right. And that's why the pros are the pros on that. What's the worst part of WWE when I was there was the schedule. And it's just not being home, and I was hurt with all my stuff I've talked about with my injuries. That made it not enjoyable for me after a certain period of time. And not that the wrestling was always enjoyable, but it's a brutal life for very little money in the grand scheme of things compared to what it should be. Up. Yeah. You know what? By the way, I was just thinking about this. This is have I ever thought about going to Twitter headquarters to solve your problem? Yeah. So all of their platforms are out there in California. And my manufacturer, this is actually something I've been giving a lot of thought about lately because I'm very invested in, yes, And I'm telling you right now, this is probably something that I'm going to go do very shortly. With the way I've been kind of stringing this along, waiting for this legal stuff to finish because this is tied into this with that. But it shouldn't be tied into this. What is going on is illegal and corrupt with it. And there's no affiliation with WWE in my social media. There never was, there never will be. But they have tied themselves into it. So that will be the next step if this is not resolved with this legal stuff. Yes. And I'll be very interested in seeing if they truly. It's not going there to. I'll put a suit on and I will go there. I will schedule a meeting. I will just go there and ask to speak to the appropriate people and see if they have a conversation with me and try to get some answers. I already know what's going on though, and so it's a matter of. It's really disheartening that they're choosing to ignore this and do this. It really, really put yourself in my shoes. I don't. It's imagine. It is. It is. It is very, very frustrating. Good question, Isaac, on dieting. Have you ever felt lost in diet? I'm in a weird place and I know I desperately need to change my diet. Have you ever enjoyed a diet truly? Yeah, so you already, my man, you already, I'm just gonna, you're in a very negative state of mind on the word diet. The word diet is just the diet is just your nutrition. It's just life is energy, food is energy. So you have and this is just my opinion based off of how you wrote that. Is I feel you have a sense of the word diet to you has a negative feeling and meaning to it, where you're like a lack of fulfillment, a lack of quality, right. With that, you got to understand that when you improve your nutrition and your food, your life improves so much more, your confidence. But the foods, you will love food and eating healthy food, and you can still eating healthy food. This is where balance comes in on all this. You look at me, you see how I look, you see I work out very, very hard. I still do my cheat meal every week. I have my red wine once a week, right? And when you work out hard and you do these other things, you could ease up on the diet a little more. But if you find the right healthy food, your cravings are gonna go down. What happens is, though, if you're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of fast foods with a lot of sodium and sugars, you are so messed up. Your cravings are so messed up that you think it's a drug. It really is on how you view food. You have to, that's where fasting comes in, intermittent fasting, and letting your body cleanse out and start putting quality foods in there. Still do your things from time to time, but start replacing things with quality things. And what you need to do is if you are really struggling, you go, then it's just one thing a day. Then it's like, well, let's put one thing at the end of the day that you can have that's going to satisfy that craving for the time being, while you then start plugging in healthier things, right? And then you start, maybe it's 2 times a day and 2 meals are good and 2 meals are not as good, but you're at least you're trying to monitor your calories. You're being a little more cautious with it. It's making baby steps and adjustments. It's right. I think oftentimes too, people think they got to start a diet and they think they have to then eliminate everything in their life they enjoy. That's not the case. You just have to start making some changes, and then as things start getting easier, implementing more changes. And I promise you, in a year, you're going to be in such a different place. You're going to be like, I wish I would have done this 10 years ago. But I'm telling you, you just got to baby steps, man. Baby steps. Super chat. Mikey, man, thank you again. Thanks, mate. When you come down to Sydney, Australia, I buy you a long black with a couple of ice cubes from Starbucks. Thank you very much, my man. I've actually been ordering my coffee with I don't, the only reason I do 2 ice cubes is usually when I want to drink it at a faster rate before I get to the gym, because that coffee is scalding hot. So if I've been getting it hot when I don't, like if I'm not on my way to the gym right away, or I'm going to sip it and I got to maybe do a little work on my phone before I go into the gym, I will, or I'm coming home. If I know I'm bringing the coffee to train at my gym, I've been not doing the 2 ice cubes as much. So, but I tell you that Starbucks is piping hot all the time. It's never not hot if you don't get the ice cubes. Isaac says, "Thank you, big guy. I was a college football player, and when I stopped, the motivation for working out and eating well stopped. It hit me faster than what people think. I send you an IGDM if that's fine. I'm not. I get too many things on the DMs on there where we're not. I don't answer them individually. It's not. It's like, and I don't see like everything goes to a mass email or a folder in there, and I delete them. That's why I do this show to talk to you guys. And I've just had too many instances. I don't. One, I don't have a lot of time for that, but a lot of times, and I'm just honest, it turns into like just too many messages on that kind of stuff. But I love talking to you guys and answering. That's why I do this here, and then everybody can listen and hear. And I appreciate those of you that share your stories and your things going on, because it helps way more people on that process, and it's more beneficial for my time as well with that. And that's why I reward the super chats that get brought up on the screen, but I answer plenty of questions without the super chats, so people understand that it's not just a financial thing that I do that. It's to help people as well. You and Big Show would put on a great show. Well, you're lucky for you, my man. There is a lot of Ryback versus Big Show matches on YouTube. Have a good night. I know what you're doing tonight. You're welcome, Isaac. And I'll answer you here, man. And I remember people, and I have a very good memory on that. So if you ever have questions, you don't always have to do the super chats. And if I see them and they pop up at the right time, I'll definitely answer you and try to help you as much as I can with that. And I understand, when you like so tough, that's what for me, and I with the wrestling, it would have been really easy. And you often see that people that get out of wrestling, their physiques usually go right. I've been so passionate about health and fitness since I was a kid. It was even in my needing a 5-disc fusion shoulder replacement. I was at the gym almost every day and never stopped training. And I just adjusted things. But I understand, because the goal for me was to go back, right? It was to overcome all this, which I've been blessed to be able to do here in the final stages. But I understand it. And if you don't have that love and passion, and your fitness was connected to football, and you did it, you know what I mean? It's very understandable. Even if it was, it's easy to, it's to fall into a rut, and that it gets harder and harder the longer that goes by. That's why baby steps are such a big thing. Just start training little by little, implementing little by little on the diet side of things. And if you're able to implement more quicker, great. But if not, just small changes, my man. And doing something is always better than doing nothing. Do I like Poland, Ryback? Do you like Poland, Ryback? Yes. I've been to Poland. We've wrestled there with WWE. I have a memory, literally, when you said that. I remember being on the bus in Poland for a WWE live event and thinking, because my dad used to always tell this, the joke. I remember it was, how do you get a one-arm Pollock out of a tree? And it was, you wave at him. But I remember thinking of that on the bus. So that memory is just stuck in my mind. Hello. All right, guys. With that, wait, hold on. Your Wake Up, Brian says, your Wake Up Unlimited Energy pre-workout is good quality product. It was hard to kick the other pre-workouts because of the sweet flavor, but I'm happy to have kicked them. Thank you for the products. You're very welcome, Brian. And I look forward to being able to hopefully get you guys more flavors on everything. And that Wake Up Unlimited Energy sells very, very well. Our Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner, which is back in stock, it's the Extreme Weight Management formula, same formula, different name for marketing, is back in stock as well. And the Wake Up, that's the number one bestseller. Wake Up and the Big Guy, those are all like the top three though, and they fly for us. I do drink a bit of distilled water when I want to lose some body water. Distilled water will help you flush out water under your skin very, very efficiently. Like I did that for my last WrestleMania. I sodium loaded a little bit, and then I cut my sodium a bit leading into WrestleMania, and nothing crazy. I didn't do not like a bodybuilder would, but just a little. And I drank. I remember I went to the Walgreens and bought a ton of the distilled Smart Water, and did those the days leading up. And then the day of the show, I drank regular water, just sipped it, and made sure I was hydrated. And I looked I was very happy with how I looked for that WrestleMania. Somebody says Ryback is a bigger draw than Cody. Cody's doing amazing, and there's a various routes you could take to be successful. We have two different stories and have gone two different routes, and I have no doubt we will be back at some point, and I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of him. And it's funny. I remember doing an independent show in England with Cody, and I was so hurt and unhappy. And this was before AEW, and he was just kind of getting everything that, and I'm sure he had his game plan in place. But I just remember we where he was sitting next to him, and I just remember I knew I could tell. I was like, I knew what was going on with me and what was like in launching Feed Me More Nutrition and where I was going. But I felt like two opposite ends of the spectrum. I felt like I knew exactly what he was going to do as far as I knew the motivation that he had, and I knew the motivation that I had on that. I was like, but I knew I was on limited time wrestling. And that was another memory that I'll never forget. And just remember him sitting there, and he got in his gear. And I remember just thinking that. I just remember thinking, it's almost like his success is going to be seen in the upcoming years. My success is going to be seen on the back end of things with everything that I was doing. And it was very early on into that whole thing. And I needed a lot of things to happen, right? And but I just remember that was in knowing that and going and what was going on. And for 2.5 years, I made a ton of money. By the way, that helped me with Feed Me More Nutrition a lot because it cost a lot of money with all that. So I'm proud of Cody, everything he's done, though. And he's done very good for himself. How do you motivate yourself to get back in the gym if you haven't been in months? Take a scoop of Wake Up Unlimited Energy. You get in your car and you drive to the gym and you just go. You just show up. You just show up. Don't think about it. Oftentimes, overthinking is the one of the biggest things that stop us. Just shut the brain off. Grab some coffee, whatever it is. Just drive to the gym. If you're driving and I got to be careful. We're on TikTok, but you hear your brain. When your brain when that inner voice starts getting negative, just say, "Shut the f up, you little b." Literally, talk to yourself. Shut the f up, you little b. And that's what you got to. You know what I mean? And you go in and you get hungry and just start. Just start moving, my man. Start moving. That's all it takes. And you'll be amazed at the momentum you could build from that. I promise you. Overthinking is a downfall a lot of times. Don't get me wrong. Thinking is great, and we need to be thinking at times. But overthinking and anxiety and doubt and fear, man, it freezes us. And you don't want to be frozen. It's going to happen. We're all going to have it. But that's why I say you tell yourself to shut the F up. Shut the F up. I'm not buying into that talk. And you know what? And go get moving. Get moving. Get hungry. All right, guys. With that, we're going to wrap up today's show. I gotta finish up some things here and think about what I'm going to eat to break my 24-hour fast in a while. And please check out my Feed Me More Nutrition line on feedmemore.com. Don't forget your discount code RYBACKSHOW20. That's RYBACKSHOW20 on feedmemore.com for the best supplements on the planet. And thank you for all the love on TikTok, Instagram, for showing a few people as well. And as always on Ryback TV, we're approaching 400,000 subscribers. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and on our quest to hopefully 1 million. But until next time, guys, stay hungry, my friends. Feed me more.